listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the LOZ Podcast Network. Today, we're talking Coves and Keys. That's right, it's real estate talk again, and I'm pretty excited because, this guy's become a friend. He was a client, and I love talking to him. He is at the lake, and you know what? If you hear the term crushing it, you have to think about my buddy, Shawn Shelton.
That's right. We are crushing real estate at Lake of the Ozarks, baby.
Shawn, how are we doing today, buddy?
We are doing wonderful. How are you, Ken?
I'm good, man. I just love that. I love that term. Where did that come from? That is just such a cool way to introduce yourself and the team.
Yeah, so we were actually taking some headshots one day, and I was, honest to God, just goofing around, and we did the pose, and
Right.
Nothing that day was ever even thought about putting that on a billboard and going with the term crushing it. And I showed it to my wife one day and came up with the idea of maybe we'll stick this on a billboard. Totally joking. And lo and behold, she was ultimately the one that said, go ahead and do it. I love it. I think it's going to gain a lot of attention. So we had to stick it on the biggest billboard we could find, which was right across from Walmart in Camden. And I let it run for a couple of years. I mean, the attention it got was insane.
It's cool. I love it. I mean, and it just says that, your personality is that way. Like you take a bite out of life, man. I mean, whenever I'm talking to you, it's like, if we're going to do it, let's do it. And that's a cool way to go through life, right?
It is. Yeah, it really is. So we had a lot of fun with it. Glad we got to do it. It's no longer up, but we still use the term crushing it. And that's kind of where it came from.
So how did you get to the lake? Are you a Laker? Were you born and bred here, or did you move here? What?
So no, I'm not. I have family. My grandparents were down here at Lake of the Ozarks. In fact, they used to own the newspaper down here. So they owned the paper back in the 60s, the 70s, and into the 80s. Back when they owned it, it was called the Reveille, and that later turned into the Lake Sun Leader. And as a kid, I spent every single summer at the lake. I was actually born and raised in Columbia, but spent every single summer at the Lake of the Ozarks since I was like 5 years old. And after high school, I decided, you know what? I love this place. It sucked me in as it does with everybody. And I became a victim, man. I got sucked into the lake life. I couldn't imagine myself living, honest to God, anywhere else. Just absolutely love it down here, and blessed that we are able to work and live and play at Lake of the Ozarks. So,
and being from Columbia, you got to be a Tigers fan, right? I mean,
definitely a Tigers fan, 100%. Yes.
I know they're sliding a little bit as we get into the tourney here, but hopefully they'll right the ship and put a run together.
It's getting tough, man. It's tournament play time, and they better get their game going. But I have faith in them, man. They've done a really good job this year.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, so how did you get started in real estate? So you get to you're in the newspaper business. I imagine your grandparents were like, hey, you could take this over. You could help us here. So what brought you to real estate?
Well, I was actually working for a company called Cahee Foods. They were based out of Chicago, Illinois. And what ultimately got me to move to the lake was that was like the most centralized spot I could be working for this company. And I was in sales. I love sales. I love the fact that the sky's the limit. There's no ceiling on what you can do or what you can make. And I actually had a stepmother who was in real estate. She was more over towards the Iberia side. I kind of grew up with it in the house. And one day a light clicked on in my head, and I said, this is for me. This is what I want to do. Went and took that dang test and had to take it twice, to pass, but got it passed. And that was crazy to say this, but that was 24 years ago, my man.
Wow. It is. I mean, I'm older than you, but I mean, you get to the point in your life where you're, late 40s, early 50s, and you start thinking about, wow, man, that went fast. Like,
It
when you
crazy.
yeah, and when you're in a career that you love and, you've been doing it for so many years, I mean, that's that's what you want though, I mean, at the end of the day, you wanna have a career that you love to do, you don't feel like you're going to work,
That's
and,
right.
you can help your family and you can, enjoy your life, like, and no better place to do that than Lake of the Ozarks, right? If you're
That
gonna work
is
somebody I mean, if you gotta work somewhere, that's the place to have to
yeah.
work, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You know what, though? It's very hard to work and drive over these bridges and see everybody out there having fun on a July afternoon, and you're out showing, but we love it. I wouldn't have it any other way, man.
You guys just won an award, right?
Yes, yes, we did.
This is
Yes, we
pretty
did.
exciting.
So that is, we won the number three team in the state of Missouri. These are teams that have members between 6 and 10 team members on their teams. It was a transaction award. We did 126 transactions last year, which
Wow.
allowed us to be number three in the entire state of Missouri for remakes. So we're
And there's
pretty.
gotta be a ton of team members in that 6 to 10 member range. I mean, that's gotta be a big category. So this is pretty prestigious to win this thing.
And what a team effort that is. We couldn't have done it without everybody on our group and on our team. I'm not sure how many team members is in Remax, statewide, but I can promise you it's a very large
It's a
number.
lot.
Just this Remax down here, Remax Lake of the Ozarks is just a phenomenal company. They continue to just make strides towards just being the best company with the best leaders. The competition within the company is awesome because when you're working for this company, man, you are working with some of the best agents Lake of the Ozarks has to offer. And to be honest with you, it ups everybody's game to be working with such great agents down here. And again, we're thrilled and honored to have that award, but we couldn't have done it without the team.
Well, and that's interesting because you go to, what I find interesting about it because we have a lot of Remax, agents and companies in the app with us, but you guys are competitors, but you're friendly competitors. I mean, you get
Yeah.
along, you support each other. Like I'll see, somebody will post they sold a property on Facebook and it's not your office and you're up there cheerleading them like way to go. And
Yeah.
that's cool. Like that's, it's one thing. Yeah. Everybody is competitive. You always want your team to win, but you guys support each other in that whole Remax family.
It's a culture, baby. They've created a great culture over there. I'm happy to be part of it. My only regret is I should have done it a lot sooner.
Right.
I'm just happy to be part of it, and it's advanced my personal career. Joining this company, we have great leaders. Jeff and Jason are just phenomenal human beings. We have a new broker, Casey Collins. He is just a phenomenal person as well, and they create that culture within the company. And yes, you're right. We're all fighting to get ahead and be number one. But it's just nice to cheer on the entire family.
That's cool. Well, let's talk about family a little bit. You got, as I love to say at the lake, and how we do in the LOZ app is everyone that we have that sponsors in the LOZ app is a locally owned company. I mean,
Yeah.
it's people who live at the lake. Their kids go to school together at the lake. They see each other at church. They see each other at the big events, and it's such a cool atmosphere. But let's talk a little bit about your family.
Yeah. So that is my wife on the far end there, Angie. She is the bar manager over at Mamacita's. So if you ever want some really, really good Mexican food and some of the best drinks around, you go check her out at Mamacita's. And
I've
the
had that big what do they call that thing at Mama C's? They got this it's a
I think
margarita, but it's like it's in
it's
a huge vat. It
yeah,
comes
it's
they basically
ridiculous, is what it
yeah, I mean,
is. It's the Margarita Tower.
there we go.
And I have yet to finish one by myself, but it's an incredible deal, and they've got a really good atmosphere over there as well. So, right there in the center is my daughter Haley, and this picture was actually taken about a week and a half ago. She just turned 21,
Oh
so
wow, what a momentous birthday that is.
super proud of the young woman she's turning into. I think Dad might have had a few more drinks that night than she did, but I'm happy, and it's crazy to think that I have a 21-year-old daughter, but I do, and here we are.
Will she get into the business with you think, or she got her own aspirations to do something different?
Right now, I think she's got her own aspirations. She's trying to get into the dental field, be a dental hygienist, and
Oh,
kind of go
cool.
from there. Things can change. Who knows? I'm gonna hold the door open for any of my kids who want to ever join the team, because honestly, that was kind of what it was all about, was to start something that we could, ultimately maybe pass down to the family and keep this legacy going. Would be super awesome. So
That's great. Well, here you are on the beach, so you do take a little bit of vacation time. I know you're not working all the time.
yeah, we got to jet down to Florida for a little bit last year. I think this was in Destin, and again, pretty dark in the background there.
Yeah, would you take this at night? Was this like at midnight you took this picture? Or?
It was, it was at night, but we had the hurricane bearing down on us.
Oh, man.
And all my friends back home at the lake were, sunny, 85, 80-degree weather, and just enjoying life. We had about 4 days of constant rain and wind,
Oh,
and
man.
but you know what? I've never experienced anything like a hurricane before. And don't get me wrong, we were not dead center in this. We were in the outer bands of this, but it was a sight to be seen.
Uh-oh, somebody had another birthday.
She's gonna kill me for putting this picture on here.
That's the best. That's what we love.
So yes, this was last February 9th, I believe, right on her birthday, and my wife turned 40. We had a oh lordy, Angie's 40 party over at the Encore down here, and got to rent out a very nice room, and they got rooms for everybody to stay at, so we were really able to have a really good time, and then not have to worry about driving home.
Yeah, right. You could let loose that. Well, I bet she was. That's awesome. Look at that, man. You guys go all out for these
We
birthdays.
do, we do.
I'm not going to show this to my wife. She's going to go, where's my big party?
My wife could throw a party, and that's little Giancarlo Shelton Diaz right there. He's
sporting all the swag. I love it.
We had to get the swag for him, and he loves to wear it, and we love to see him in it. So that was a great picture there.
And then you guys enjoying yourselves. I think you told me this was Aquapalooza you guys were out at, right?
Yeah, so we've sponsored Aquapalooza the last couple of years. I mean, you want to talk about a very cool event. That is a great time right there. Big party. This one, last 2 years was at Captain Ron's. I believe they're moving that over to is it Dog Days this year?
I think it's going to Dog Days this year. Yeah.
Yeah, which will be a great event for moving that event back to that side of the lake, because if I'm not mistaken, that is where it started, was Dog Days back in the day.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So I sit on the shootout board, and we're moving the shootout back over to the state park, so it's coming back to where it was. And I think
awesome.
it is awesome, because I like that things are spread around. You can go to different things on the lake, and everybody gets a chance to kind of participate. But the cool thing about it is at the lake, and you said it right there, is you know what, you guys work there. It's where you make your living, but you can also enjoy what's going on. And Aquapalooza is such a huge event, and the fact that you guys get behind it, and you can still go there, enjoy the day, and that really is, I think, what adds to the cool factor of working at Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so many cool events down here, and to be able to, even though you're working, you're having such a good time. It just doesn't even feel like you're doing a job whatsoever. But it's a great time for us to pass out some swag, meet a bunch of people, really just have a really dang good time that day.
And then we snuck in just one good picture of you and the little guy.
Just us.
This is what life's all about right here, isn't it?
That's just us being us, man. We're just goofy, goofy dad, goofy kid, just having a good time there. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and again, The reason I love having the podcast is because, we get a chance to get to know what's behind the man, like, yeah, you're this, Remax real estate agent, you're crushing it at the lake and everybody sees that part of what's going on. But there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes, the family part of it, you guys get
Yeah.
involved with charities. You guys there's a lot of stuff that happens at Lake of the Ozarks that is really cool. And that's why it is, I think, a market on itself because you're not going to find that in a lot of different markets where you're working.
Yeah, it's a special place, man. There's no other better place in Missouri to live than right here at Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, I don't know. You got a little bit of everything down here. We're blessed to be able to do what we do and live here, work here, raise our families here. It was truly always a dream of mine to raise a family down here. We got great schools, and it's just fun growing up as a kid. I got to grow up as a kid at Lake of the Ozarks and had a blast doing it.
Well,
So
how about you and I help some people find their home at the Lake of the
we
Ozarks? So
can do that. We can
let's
do
talk
that.
let's talk a little bit about some of your listings you got here because you got some cool places here.
Yeah.
This is 313 Country Ridge Drive. Tell me a
Yes,
little about this
sir.
property.
So, if you haven't been to Old Kinderhook, you need to drive through Old Kinderhook and check this out. What a unique place. It's a golf course community. But what's cool about it is it also has lake access via boat slips, via boat ramp. It's located on the Niangua arm of the lake and just a tremendous curb appeal. And the entire subdivision, when you drive through here, you will be amazed at the houses.
I'll tell you what, I play golf out there. The water is unbelievable. If you're boating in that area, I mean, it's the best water you could ever imagine.
For sure.
But some of these houses like this one, my goodness, they
Yeah.
put some really big houses up on this golf course, don't
So
they?
you're talking this one here's 4,000 square feet. It's got 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. Sets on the 17th hole, so you get to see some interesting conversations going on out there with people.
Right?
It has a 3-car garage, so you got room for the golf cart right there on the property, and then even though it's not included in the price for extra money, this one has a 12 by 32 slip that can be bought. So again, this is what's cool. You have the golf course view, but you also have access to Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, I mean, and out there, I mean, having a slip available with that property is key. Like that's a big get. So,
buddy, those slips are worth their weight in gold. So if somebody doesn't want the slip, it's okay. The owner's already got it sold.
yeah,
but
they'll have no problem getting rid of that, right?
Exactly.
Let's talk about 1740 La Bonita Lane. Look at
La
that view. Wow.
Bonita Lane.
That's a cool view.
It is. It is. So, yeah, this is in the cove that sits directly across from Margaritaville, Tantera, if you will. I will always know it as Tantera. I'm sure.
Me too.
You will too. But this is a cool property. It sits on about 80 feet of lakefront. It's listed as a 4-bedroom. It does have 2 more bedrooms that don't have windows. They're non-conforming, but it does have the availability to have 6 bedrooms to sleep your guests. It's
Wow,
got
that's
2
big.
baths, and then you got the big concrete 40-foot slip dock with a bar on it.
Wow.
This one's been on the rental program, and it's done very well. So if somebody's looking for an investment property or maybe, a property to use for themselves and rent out on the side, this one checks off all the boxes.
Look at that bar, man. You could do some entertaining at that thing, right?
Yeah, that's where I went to first when I first saw it. I ran right to that bar right there.
And look at that water out there with that big dock. I mean, you're looking
Just
at woods across the way. I mean, this is like,
beautiful,
what a
beautiful
cool.
setting, beautiful setting. It's right there at the 26-mile marker, and again, you can kind of see the resort of Tantera there in the background. So this property would rent out and does rent out very, very well.
Yeah, and that's important, right? I mean, people want to, maybe help with some of the bills that we're going to do on rental program, and that's, that's
Absolutely.
cool.
It kind of helps offset some of those bills for sure. So Maeda Drive, Maeda, that is a cool subdivision. It's just about 5 minutes south of Camdenton. This has got paved streets. You kind of get the country atmosphere, but you're still in a neighborhood type setting. What's really cool about this property that I think is, it's over 1,800 square feet, all on one level. That is huge. One level right
Yeah, yeah,
there.
no steps.
Yes, with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and, they have done some very, very nice updates to this house, and that one's listed at only 389,000. So if anybody out there is looking to
Wow.
move off of the lake, or maybe you're an older couple that's looking to downsize and just be on one level, this is the perfect house for that.
Nice screened-in porch too, that's key. I
Yes,
mean, I don't
beautiful.
anytime I have a porch now and I build a house at the lake, it's gotta be screened in because, man, we get some big old bugs in the
You
summer.
get some big buzz, but tell you what, it's just also, nice. You could actually enclose that and put some glass panels in if you wanted to turn it into a three seasons room, and then
Oh,
you
there
get
you
to
go.
use it year round.
There
So
you go.
yeah, super nice to have that screen and deck on the back there.
That's awesome. Okay, now we got a cool lot here.
Yeah, it's a lot of a lot. This is 1389 Crater Hill Road. This is 233.45 acres.
Wow.
And this property has a little bit of everything. It's got 2 wells on the property. It's got a massive 40 by 60 big shop on the property. It's got an old foundation where a house had burnt down at one time, but somebody could totally rebuild back up on that. And then you got 2 ponds, you got 2 springs, you got various pastures, you got a good mix of woods. This property has also, some of this property's already been subdivided into lots. So if a developer wanted to come along and do a subdivision right here, this is about 10 minutes south of Camdenton, so it's still got a great location, and it's a pretty diverse property.
And that's kind of, what's funny is everybody thinks about lake homes, right? When you're going to the lake, I'm going to buy a lake home, but there's a ton of property that people look for, farms, hunting
That's right.
properties, just getting out of the city a little bit, right? And I mean, this is a great area. I mean, you're close to Camdenton and you're 10 minutes from all the shopping. But boy, I mean, I'm looking at this picture. I don't see a store anywhere in it for miles. And I mean, you really could get lost out here, couldn't you?
Yeah, so this has got that great country feel, man. Like even if you just wanted to keep it all to yourself and build a big house right in the center of it, this is a gorgeous piece to do that on. It's got a lot of possibilities on this particular piece.
That's awesome. Let's talk about 42 West Cottage Park.
Oh yeah,
We're back over in Old Kinderhook, I think.
back over in one of my favorite parts of the lake, Old Kinderhook. So, what's really neat about these cottages is these things rent out extremely, extremely well. So, yes, you could absolutely live here, and there are a few that are full time owners, but these things are primarily bought for investment properties. This is 2 bed, 2 bath, a little just under 1,300 square feet. This one's gonna set right on tee box number 1, so you get, most of your people that you're gonna see are still sober at this point. Tee box 1. But let's talk about all the amenities that you get when you go to Old Kinderhook. I mean, you got 3 pools. You have the trophy room, bar, and restaurant. You have, I think there's a spa over there. You got the clubhouse. You got a boat ramp. You got
Pickleball,
tennis
tennis, I
courts.
see all that stuff. I mean, everything's there, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you
it's loaded with amenities, and they have the main resort over there where they do a lot of weddings, and so these cottages tend to rent out extremely, extremely well. So what a great investment property we have for sale here.
and they're so cool looking on the outside too. I love this wraparound porch and just, you come into the subdivision, you see these, you're like, I want to stay there. Like that's a cool little cottage, it's fun.
Yes. I would rather stay there than in a hotel room. And this particular one just had a brand new composite deck put all the way around it. I think the guy spent about $35,000 putting this new deck on. So that was a pretty big upgrade that several of those do not have.
That's awesome. And what are they offering that one at?
That one is offered at $379,900.
See, that just seems like a deal to me. I mean, 379 and you got your own place, you can use it, you can rent it. I mean, the rental history on those things are great.
That's
So, I
right.
mean, you're going to get some help with that, but being in Old Kinderhook and having all those amenities, that's really cool.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And they do extremely well on that one. I can't remember the numbers. I'm wanting to say he did $18,000 on that one last year. When we were talking to the front office, they are projecting even bigger numbers this year on that particular one. So, you might as well get some help paying for your investment, and why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, and these are just a few of your listings. You've got a lot more listings than this. We just highlighted these today, but I want to encourage any of our viewers to, call Shawn, go to the website,
That's
myfuturelakehome.com. They
right.
can see all the stuff you have to offer, right?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
that's important. Or if if they're like me and old school and they just want to find out right away, then they can just call you, uh,
Yep.
give him a call and let him help you find the next lake dream home for you, and that's the cool thing about it. A lot of people move from one place to the other. They try it on the lake for a while. Then maybe they want to go off water, and maybe they want to do lake view. And so, it's a cool market because people usually when they get there, they stay there. They may own 4 or 5 different places over the years, but
Yeah.
it's a place when you get there, you generally don't leave, right? I mean, it's
That's
just
right.
such.
No, like I said, it will suck you in, and that's just what the lake does. But that's all right. It's a beautiful place. It's a very diverse place. We got properties. We got different types of properties for every type of buyer out there.
And remember, you can always also go find Shawn in the LOZ app. That's why we're here,
Of
right? I mean,
course.
this is yeah. So we've got all the information. You can get through the app in a couple taps and get a hold of Shawn, get a hold of anybody at Winter Shelton. Hey man, thanks for joining us today. I
Yeah,
really
man.
appreciate it. It's been a fun. I always enjoy talking to you. I love your drive, and I just love that you just take life and you go at it. And for us, it's just fun to kind of catch up and find out, a little bit about your family and how you got here and what's going on. And we'll check back in with you here, later on in the summer and kind of see what things have changed. But thanks for joining us today.
Man, I look forward to it, and we're super glad to be part of the LOZ app. 100%.
Thank you, brother. All right, man. We'll catch you later. Thanks, Shawn Shelton.
You betcha.